Are you tired of feeling stuck and unable to break through to the next level in your life? Do you find yourself making the same mistakes every morning that sabotage your success? In this video, we'll explore the key Stoic principles that can help you identify what you're doing wrong every morning and pave the way for your breakthrough. 1. Not taking time for silence. Many of us jump out of bed every morning and are instantly hit with a flood of daily tasks, alerts, and requirements. We start reacting as soon as we wake up, letting outside pressures decide what we do. But here's the thing. If you do this, you'll miss out on silence, which is one of the most important parts of mental growth and breakthrough. In the Stoic thought, it is impossible to say enough about how important it is to keep your cool. Stoics from the past, such as Marcus Aurelius, thought that controlling your thinking was the first step to controlling yourself. Being calm makes you see things clearly, and when you see things clearly, you act with purpose instead of reacting. You lose touch with the present when you rush into the day without taking time to ground yourself. You keep thinking about the past or the future, worried about what might happen or dwelling on things that have already happened. But this makes you miss the moment, which is where your power is. You stop taking action and start reacting. Your feelings take over instead of logic and reason, which are the very virtues that Stoicism encourages. Even if it's hard at first, set aside 5 or 10 minutes in the morning to be alone. Now is the time to take deep breaths, think, and let your mind rest. It's not meditation in the sense of trying to get rid of all your thoughts. Instead, it's giving yourself time to notice your thoughts without judging them. When you do this, you feel like you have power over your mind, and by extension, your day. Inner citadel is a term that the Stoics use a lot to describe a place inside you that is safe from the chaos of the outside world. By practicing silence every morning, you make this inner fortress stronger. You tell yourself that even though the outside world is noisy, confusing, and unpredictable, you can stay calm and clear inside. Start with quiet if you feel like you're stuck in a loop, constantly overwhelmed, and without a plan. Take a moment to think before you answer the phone, check your email, or let everyone in. During that pause, you'll get clear, find your goal, and find your way. What changes is not that the outside world is less chaotic, but that you are less likely to be affected by it. You get control over yourself, and that's the start of your success. Being quiet does not mean that you are not doing anything. You can make space for reflection, focus, and purpose by choosing to do so. For that reason, the next time you feel like life is too much for you, remember that the most powerful tool for getting clear is already inside you: silence. 2. Not making your priorities clear. Not making our goals clear in the morning is another mistake that keeps us from getting ahead in life. Every day is a fresh start, a chance to do something new, but too often we go through our days without a clear plan. We may have a general idea of what we want to do at first, but if we don't set clear goals, we end up focusing on stuff that doesn't matter and missing out on what is really important. According to Stoicism, setting goals isn't just a way to get things done. It's also a way to live a life that's in line with your purpose. We learn from the Stoics that life is short and that we only have so much time and energy. How we spend our days shows what we believe in and what kind of person we are. You let yourself be pulled in 1,000 different directions if you don't set your goals first thing in the morning. Instead of taking charge of your life, you give in to outside demands. We don't waste a lot of time, not that we don't have much time to live. There are enough years in the day, and we've been given enough money to reach the highest goals if we spend it all wisely. It's important to remember that the issue is not a lack of time, but a failure to prioritize and focus. If you don't write down your responsibilities every morning, you waste time on things that don't help you grow or reach your goals. What is up to us is a very important idea in Stoicism. The Stoics thought that we should spend our energy on things we can change, like our thoughts, actions, and decisions, and let go of things we can't change. You are responsible for what is up to you when you write down your goals every morning. You're choosing how to spend your time and energy instead of letting things happen around you plan your day. Setting goals helps you make sure that your actions are in line with your values. It makes you feel purposeful and happy to know that you're spending your time on things that really matter. There is more to you than just going through the motions or responding to things that happen. You're instead living on purpose, with a clear idea of where you're going and what you want to achieve. The Stoics also stressed how important it was to live a good life, which includes virtues like knowledge, courage, justice, and moderation. You need to be smart to figure out what your goals are because they force you to decide what is most important and what is not. Most of the time, it takes bravery to say no to less important things, even if they are easier or more comfortable. It's also a moral act because you have to be disciplined to keep your mind on what's important. In other words, if you feel like you're stuck or not making progress, set your goals every morning. Don't let the day run your life. Run your life. Figure out what's most important to you and put your attention there. You'll be more productive and happier because you'll be living in line with your ideals and purpose when you do this. 3. Avoiding to think about yourself. Avoiding self-reflection is another mistake that many of us make that keeps us from making personal progress. It's easy to get caught up in the business of daily life and forget to stop and think about what we think, do, and say. But avoiding self-reflection is bad for our growth because we don't see the trends that are holding us back when we don't do it. Self-reflection is an important part of Stoicism. The Stoics thought that we should look at our lives often to make sure we are living in line with our values and beliefs. In our minds, we suffer more than in real life. A lot of the pain we feel comes from thoughts and feelings that aren't under control. The only way to deal with these is to think on ourselves. You're pretty much living your life on autopilot when you don't think about yourself. You're responding to things going on around you without thinking about how your actions and thoughts affect your experience. You can't make real changes and personal breakthroughs when you're not aware of this. If you drive a car without checking the fuel gauge, you might get by for a while, but then you'll run out of gas and not know why. Self-reflection helps you figure out what needs to be changed in your life. You can see your negative thought patterns, bad habits, and places where you're not living in line with your ideals. If you don't know this, you'll keep making the same mistakes, which will stop your growth and keep you from making a breakthrough. One way that the Stoics often thought about themselves was through proseuche, which means paying attention to oneself. To do this, you have to regularly check your ideas and actions to make sure they are in line with virtue and reason. When Marcus Aurelius wrote his Meditations, he often talked about how important it was to think about and control his own thoughts and actions. Self-reflection can be painful, which is one reason why many people avoid it. It pushes you to face your flaws, mistakes, and problems. But this pain is important for growth. As the Stoics teach, trouble is a chance to grow, and self-reflection is a way to deal with our own problems, like our fears, doubts, and worries. The Stoics also said that we should accept things as they are, not how we want them to be. Self-reflection helps you become more accepting of yourself by letting you see things as they really are, without your feelings or ego getting in the way. Looking at your life without bias and without judging it helps you understand it better and make smarter choices. You probably haven't been reflecting on yourself, which is why you feel stuck or like you're not making progress. If you don't know yourself, you can't see the things that are stopping you. But if you make thinking about yourself a normal part of your morning routine, you'll get the clarity and insight you need to get past the things that have been holding you back. So, every morning, take a few minutes to think about what you think, what you do, and how you act. Be honest with yourself, but also care about other people. When you think on your mistakes, you shouldn't berate yourself. Instead, you should learn from them and use what you've learned to become a better person. Not only will this practice make you more aware of your thoughts and deeds, but it will also give you more power over your life and your future. 4. Taking on too many tasks at once. Putting too many things on our plates every morning is one of the most common mistakes that keeps us from making progress. We put a lot of things on our to-do lists because we believe that the more we do, the closer we'll be to reaching our goals. But this way of thinking is a trap because it comes from not knowing what progress and productivity mean. The Stoics thought that having a reason in life and being good were more important than getting a lot of things done. Seneca said, "It is not the man who has too little that is poor. It is the man who desires more that is poor." This quote can be used to explain why we are so focused on getting things done these days. Your success doesn't depend on how many jobs you finish, but on how well you do them and why you do them. You lose energy and attention when you give yourself too many things to do. You might feel busy, but being busy does not mean you are getting things done. In fact, being too busy can make you tired, stressed, and angry because you're always trying to do more, but never feel like you're making real progress. You will definitely not have a breakthrough if you start your day this way because you are focused on quantity over quality. There's often pressure from outside sources that makes you take on too many tasks. This pressure could be to meet other people's standards or to keep up with the fast pace of modern life. But Stoicism tells us to follow our inner values instead of what other people want us to do. When you act in line with your values, you stop feeling like you have to do more all the time and can instead focus on doing what matters. The answer is to make things easier. Instead of making a long list of things to do every morning, pick 1 or 2 important jobs that fit with your values and goals. In order to reach your success, you need to do these things. You can get more done if you focus on the things that really matter. For Stoics, living in the present moment is another important idea. There are times when having too many things to do makes you think about all the things you need to do. This pulls you out of the present and makes you feel anxious and stressed. When you only have a few things to do, though, you can give each one your full care and effort. This not only gets better results, but it also makes you feel happier and more at peace. We suggest that you change the way you spend your mornings if you feel like you're constantly busy, but not making any real progress. Having too many things to do is stopping you from making progress because it spreads out your energy and attention. Take it easy instead. Pay attention to what's important. Do not as many things, but do them better. If you start your day with this attitude, you'll not only get more done, but you'll also feel more in line with your values and mission. 5. Not being in line with your values. People often fail to make progress when they don't make sure their daily actions are in line with their core ideals. A lot of people get up every day and start chasing outside success right away, whether it's more money, fame, or praise, without ever stopping to think about whether these goals are in line with what they really care about and believe in. Living a life that doesn't match your ideals leads to inner conflict, stress, and dissatisfaction, all of which make it impossible to have a real breakthrough. According to Stoicism, the only way to live a good and satisfying life is to be in line with your beliefs. In their view, the Stoics thought that living a life that is in line with your values was the only way to be truly happy. Don't argue anymore about what a good man should be like. Be one. So, take action. This is a reminder that every day, your ideals should guide what you do. The issue is that lots of people live their lives without ever being sure of what they believe in. They let outside forces, like society, their friends, and family, tell them what they should focus on and seek. You chase things that don't really make you happy or fulfilled when you don't know what your ideals are. You may be successful in the eyes of other people, but deep down you feel empty and unsatisfied. This is a big reason why people feel like they can't move forward in their lives. When your actions are in line with your values, you feel at peace and fulfilled because you're living in line with who you really are. You no longer need to seek approval or success from other people because you know you're having a meaningful life. Living in line with reason and nature and letting go of things you can't change is what Stoic morality is all about. The Stoics also thought that being brave was needed to live by your values. Being true to your values isn't always easy, especially in a world that rewards people for giving up their values for short-term gain. But Stoicism tells us that the only way to be truly successful is to stick to your ideals, no matter how hard it gets. Epictetus said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." Being in charge of yourself means living your life according to your values and not letting outside forces decide what you do. People don't always live up to their values because they don't take the time every morning to think about what's most important to them. They let the business of the day get to them and react to outside demands instead of making decisions based on their values. However, if you really want to make progress, you should start each day by reflecting on your beliefs. If you don't live in line with your beliefs, you'll never make progress because you'll be living inauthentically. Outside success may come your way, but it won't make you happy because it's not in line with who you really are. But when you live your life according to your beliefs, you make room for real growth, happiness, and success. When outside pressure gets in the way, you break through it and live a life that is true to you. 6. Not thinking about your death enough. Remembering that you will die is one of the most important Stoic lessons. They thought that thinking about how short and uncertain life is on a daily basis could be a powerful way to push people to live fully and with purpose. But these days, a lot of people try not to think about death. People who think this way put things off, don't make decisions, and don't feel rushed when trying to reach their goals and realize their dreams. You're blocking your breakthrough because you don't think about your death every morning because you take time for granted. You think you can always start over tomorrow to make changes, reach your goals, or live in a way that is in line with your values. We don't know how much time we have left, though. Don't take this as a sad thought. It's a call to live with meaning and urgency. You can live a long time if you know what to do with it. We don't waste our time on things that don't matter, not that we don't have enough time. When you think about how short life is, you realize how valuable every day is. You stop wasting time on unimportant things and pay attention to what really counts. You can set the tone for a day of meaningful action by thinking about your death every morning. You are reminded that time is the most important thing you have and that you should make good use of it. Because you know that tomorrow isn't a given, this practice helps you stop putting things off and making excuses. As a result, you are more likely to take risks, follow your dreams, and live in line with your beliefs. The Stoics also thought that thinking about death could help you get over your fears. A lot of the things that hold us back, fear of failing, fear of being judged, and fear of the unknown, look small when we think about death. If you keep telling yourself that death is going to happen, these fears will lose their power over you. You understand that failure isn't the worst thing that can happen. The idea of memorandum mori is not negative or sad. It helps you live a fuller life. You are more present, focused, and deliberate in everything you do when you think about death. You stop wasting time on pointless arguments, material distractions, and pointless activities. Instead, you start living with a feeling of purpose and urgency. If you feel like you can't move forward in your life or are stuck, it's probably because you aren't fully accepting that you will die. For some reason, you think you have endless time, which keeps you from taking the brave, determined steps that lead to big breakthroughs. Fear, putting things off, and not making up your mind get in the way when you think about your own death. You know that now is the time to act, and that each day is a unique chance to live fully and with purpose. Following nature's rules, accepting that life changes, and making the most of the time you have are the core ideas of Stoic knowledge.